Good morning, class. Our lesson today is on analogies. So analogies is the plural form of analogy with a Y at the end. So does anyone in the class want to have a guess what the meaning of analogy is? Yes, Zach?
I think an analogy is words that go together.
Okay, that's a very good try. In other words, analogies are word relationship. As you can see here at the bottom, I've written A is to B as C is to D. That's the kind of structure that an analogy would have. A is to B as C is to D. Let me give you some examples. Let's see. Apple is to fruit as red is to color. So why did I pick those two different examples? Can we think about what relationship those two set of examples have? Apple is to fruit as red is to color. So apple is a type of fruit and red is a type of color. So we're talking about a type right here. So there is a very specific strategy that we can use in learning analogies that can really help us to make connection. So if we look over here, I have a PowerPoint presentation about classic analogy bridges. So before that, let me hand out a handout right here. It's titled Classic Analogy Bridges, and there are 9 different examples of bridges. And so I have picked 4 specifically to explain to the class, and we can talk about the others if we need to, but I just thought I'll pick out 4 examples so that we can learn a few. Let's start off with function bridge. Okay, let me cover the bottom part so we don't have to answer so soon. Shovel, dig. So what is the relationship here? So according to this bridge, it's function. So a shovel's function is to dig. So let's look at the 4 options we have here. The first part of the analogy is known as the question pair. So that will give you the hint so that you can find out what the potential pair would be, which is known as the answer pair. Question pair, answer pair. So let's look at the 4 options. Bag is to buy, baby is to cry, fork is to eat, and car is to stop. So we can see that fork, eat, would be a very similar, would be the back pair, the answer pair, because a fork's function is to eat. Does that make sense? Okay, so here, a shovel is used to dig, a fork is used to eat. So when we think about the function of the first part, which is the question pair, then that gives us a hint on what the answer pair could be. Any questions? Let's look at our next part, characteristic bridge. So candy is sweet. So that's the characteristic of a candy, is sweet. So let's look at our options over here. Man strong. That somewhat defines like a quality. Time fast. Okay, that's also a quality. Movie exciting. Okay, and then fire hot. So a characteristic of a fire is hot. So that would be our match. A characteristic of a candy is to be sweet, and a characteristic of a fire is to be hot. So keep thinking as we go through some of these examples, and we can talk even more. You don't have to understand everything right now at this instant. Okay, type, kind of bridge. A wrench is a type of tool. Let's see, let's have someone in the class help us with this. Who knows what the answer pair is to wrench is to tool? Yes, Zachary.
I think number 2, rose to flower.
Okay, can you explain yourself? Why did you pick that answer?
Because the rose is a flower, is a type of flower.
Okay, great. That's very good. Let's look. Knees to leg. That's part of the leg. Pencil paper is what you use on a paper, and that's pretty much the same category. So rose is a type of flower. So a wrench is a type of tool, and a rose is a type of flower. Very good, Zachary. Okay, this is our last part. Part to whole bridge. Finger, hand. So part to whole. A finger is a part of a whole hand. And let's look at what are some of our answer options. Ball is the game. So what could it be? You use ball in the game. And clock, room. Clock is in a room. That could be an option. Hat is a suit. Okay, it's part of a suit. Wheel is to car. Sometimes it can seem pretty tricky, but let's see. I pick wheel is to car. Some of the answer option can be debatable, but let's look at it specifically. A finger is part of a hand. So what is part of something bigger? A wheel is part of a car. So a finger is part of a hand and a wheel is part of a car. So some other options are my nose is part of my face, and many other examples that you can have. So I am handing out a worksheet that has 18 different question pair that requires you to fill in the blank for the answer pair part. You are more than welcome to use this handout that I gave at the beginning to help you to understand more about the word relationship. So we'll work on it as a class for the first 5 questions, and then I would like for you to work on the rest on your own. To give it a try. It's okay if you get it wrong. That's why we're here to learn. So let's review real quick. Analogies. Word relationship. A is to B as C is to D. Again, back to my example at the beginning of class. Apple is to fruit and red is to color. So just think about, whenever you're given the first part, which is a question pair, think about the relationship. Apple, fruit. Apple is a type of fruit. So the second part, which is the answer pair, can be anything that is in the same category. I pick red as a type of color. So you can think of many other different examples. There isn't just one specific answer. And so yes, let's work on this right now. Thank you.